welcome back to Vinny the Axe. Today we're going to be working on a 2006 Fender Mexican Stratocaster that I don't know what series it is, but it has a really super nice candy apple metallic finish. So if you know what model this is or what series it is, hit it up in the comments below. This guitar belongs to a buddy of mine, a really good friend of mine. Shout out to Jerry, who did not like the pickups in this guitar and wanted me to change them out. So I have a set of Fender Custom Shop Fat 60s already preloaded into a pickguard that was actually in an anodized one, but I have a bunch of pickguards here in stock, so I put it in like kind of an off-white parchment colored, whatever it is, pickguard form, and then this is all wired up pretty neatly, and we're going to throw it in this Mexican Strat and see how it sounds. All right, so first thing we're going to do is, I guess, let's just get the strings off this guitar, and then probably do a setup on this as well, and probably maybe moisturize the fingerboard and work on the frets a little bit. It looks pretty clean. I'm sure my buddy took care of that when he took it in the first place. So I'm just going to cut all this stuff off. I'm not going to go keep this running the whole time. I'll probably edit it so you don't have to see, like, in real time me fighting with the strings and the tuning pegs and that kind of jazz. But I'm interested to hear how this thing sounds with the Fender Custom Shops in it. I don't think I've ever put a set of Fender Custom Shops into a Mexican Strat before. I will tell you the difference between this and my Custom Shop. I know it's like comparing apples and oranges, but however, some people say not. Some people say that they're the same thing. And I totally beg to differ. But if you're one of those people that say it's completely the same, then so be it. But I will tell you that this guitar body's slightly heavier than a Custom Shop. I think it has to do with a lot of paint and the poly on there. And also, the frets are nowhere near the same. But these frets are pretty decent looking. This is, like I said, 2006, so it's been around for a little bit. So it's in really good shape for what year it is. I mean, it looks like it's been played quite a bit. So he got it secondhand, of course. It's not his. Wasn't his originally. So, but I think it's going to look nice with the plain pickguard on it. I don't really care for pearloid. Some people do. It's got that yellowy, vintagey look to it. To each his own. I've just never been a fan of it. I think it works on some guitars, and some guitars it doesn't. So I don't know. What pickguard do you prefer? Leave it in the comments thing in the comments below there. And everybody's got their own opinion what they like. One man's pearloid is another man's mint pickguard, I guess, right? So we're going to take these strings off, get them out of our way, get the pickguard off. I'm probably going to just use, depending on what I find underneath there, I'm going to use probably the wiring coming from the jack as is. I mean, I could change it to vintage pushback wire, but I don't really see a need for that as long as they're working. I don't think you're going to hear the difference. So we'll see. Try to make this, easy and simple in the best way possible, and then see where we go from there. So we'll just take these and just cut all this stuff off. I usually just cut all the ends off on the old strings instead of trying to pull them through the block all twisted on the ends, because this is where, trying to pull this through the block, it just scrapes and makes a really annoying noise, and sometimes I get jammed in there. Why even bother going through that when you could just cut it all off, and then I can pull them all the way through. And just grab all of them like so, and turn the guitar over, push them all the way out. There's a couple in there that are not cooperating. Let me get these guys out first. I think I got one more hiding somewhere. Unless I can't count correctly. Yeah, there's one more hiding in there. The other thing I do too, and I don't know if people care about this, but I'll actually take the old ones and wrap them up. This way I can throw them in the garbage without them poking everywhere, or go through a garbage bag or whatever. I'll just throw them in the garbage like that. Maybe that's an OCD thing, I don't know. It's garbage, right? Probably does not matter. And get this done. And that's it. All right, so let's flip it over. And what we're going to do is we're going to start taking these guys out. Let me get my little magnetics tray. If you haven't seen me use this before, these things are great. If you don't have any, they're super cheap, Harbor Freight or online or Amazon or whatever. And there's a little bit of a magnet under the tray. As you can see, it grabs something else. And then I just throw the parts in there. It's awesome. And wrong size screwdriver. Let's try this guy. See how this works. Trying to figure out the best way to film these things. So I got a new clamp for my other camera up here, bird's eye view thing, and maybe that'll work better for the video. As you get a good close-up shot of my old man hands. And let's see here, I'll take this off. I wonder if this is even the original electronics. If you know, throw that in the comments too. Be interesting to see if this was an original pickguard and electronics, or somebody added this later, because I could tell you that I don't know if my buddy, I haven't talked to him about, I'm going to scratch the top there. I haven't talked to him whether or not he put those strap lock buttons on. He probably did, because that's not standard stock on this. So yeah, I've already date coded the serial number, so it is a legit 2006 Strat. I like the color on this guitar. This guitar is really cool. I'm going to say it's a candy apple red. I don't know what the hell color it's really called, but it's really a cool color. And I think, you know, because it's blingy, if that's a term, the paint, I think the plain pickguard is going to be nice on this. I think it's going to look classy, you know, in my opinion. I think this is too, I don't know. I always associate this with like a country western thing. I know that's not it, or maybe it is it. I don't know. But I'm not a country western guy. Just my personal preference. And especially not new country, where it's kind of like, you know, I'm not talking like country like Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers and Willie Nelson. I'm talking like new country where everybody sings the same. They all sound the same to me. And I'm not really into that, but I associate this all the time with that. All right, so let's take this off now and see what's under here and see if I can even turn it so we can see. Lordy, lordy. Okay, it is Fender pickups, and I don't know if you can see that on the screen, probably. And doesn't look like anybody's monkeyed with it, so I'm going to say this is original. And it's probably one of those Fender Diamondback pickups they used to have back then. I think that's what it was called, a Diamondback. Wasn't my most favorite humbucker, let's just put it that way. This is really interesting to see in here. If you could see the poly in here and the paint, if you were able to feel this, man, it's very, very thick. It's like, I don't know how many mils thick that is, but it's quite substantial. So if you ever wondered like how thick this poly is, I'm sure you can find some videos too. There's guys that actually will take this finish off, or finish like this, and use a scraper and a heat gun, and it comes off like sheets of plastic. So if you don't think that causes a problem with the resonation of the guitar, I don't know what to tell you, because it's like, it'd be like taking a drum cymbal and, you know, coating it in plastic and then hitting it with a drumstick. I doubt it's going to ring out like it's supposed to. Now I know that's going to probably spark up some controversy on like, doesn't matter about the wood, right? The wood and it's got nothing to do with it. I know a guy made a guitar out of a workbench and it sounded the same. Whatever. If that's what you like, cool. For me, not so much. Let's get my what you call it here, my soldering station on. And man, this is really tight in here. They got this quite tight. So I'm gonna have to take that out. And what else? This guy, I have to take that apart. All the all the grounds are together, which is the way you're supposed to do it. So that's going to be fun. And go from there. Might have to redo the grounds. I don't know, these are a bit damn short, but we'll see how I can get that to fly. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to unsolder this connection here, get all the grounds off, and then we're going to take the hot off from the jack, and I think we'll be good. I got my pliers for this. And actually, before I do anything else, let me tin and prep my tip. Okay. Now, sometimes to get this thing hot takes a little bit. We'll see how this works. There we go. I'm trying to get this to splash back on me. Had that happen before. There we go. That's out. Try to do as least damage as possible, so if I have to wire it back in or whatever they wanted originally back in, try to get it so that it's, you know. Now I think what they do with this is they tie these damn things around these lugs, which I can't stand. So I'm gonna have to cut that, because I'm not gonna try to unravel that wrap that they do there, which I'm not gonna play games with that. I hate when they do that. There we go. And looks like they got alright, so I'm going to take this guy off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip this one too. This is, in other words, grounding all the potentiometers together in a line. I'll show you on mine. In other words, this goes from here to here to here. So if you noticed on mine here, let's see if I can frame this right. It's here, here, here. So same idea. And give you another shot of this side here so you can see what this guy looks like. So let's see here. Try to make some sense out of this. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just strip that guy. I love these. Not sponsored by Klein, but man, these are nice wire cutters. Okay. Good. Nice. All right, so that's out. This guy's going. I don't know where it's going, but it's going back to my buddy, and he can do whatever he wants with it. Put that to the side. And then, the reason why I got the towel on here is I just use it to protect the finish is all. Don't want to scratch up his guitar. And then we're going to try to get this in the best way possible. Normally what I would suggest that people do is, instead of just wiring it willy-nilly, whatever direction they want to put it in here, just kind of take a look at how this is going to flow when it goes back into the cavity. So I try to kind of make it as, I guess, as best as possible so that it doesn't get jammed in there. So I guess we'll be okay. I worry about that sometimes, especially when I don't have enough lead. Now, here's the problem. I need to get that mess. Oh no, there's no mess on this lug because I didn't wrap the wires around there. So, just trying to make sure that this doesn't get screwed up here. All right, so what we're going to try to do is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tin this wire. That's a pretty thick wire, actually. And so to my tip, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently just go over that real quick like that. Whoop, too much. Too much, I went a little overboard. Okay, so that's good. And then let's see if we can get this guy. Let's see if we can get this guy in here. Get my pliers. And I'm wondering if I should go under the ground or over. I think I'm going to go over. I'm going to try to hold this in place while I do this. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's hope that this guy works. All right, leads there, that's there. Minimal wiring, I guess. Less crap to shove down in there. I guess that's how you gotta look at it, but. Nice. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna test these and test these pickups, see if they're all working, make sure everything's correct, and then I can go and clean a little bit of this and moisturize the fretboard and, you know, go from there. Okay, so I got the bench amp hooked up here. I'm going to put it into clean as best I can here. Obviously now we're going to get a little bit of a 60 cycle hum, plus there's no strings on here to ground it from the bridge, so we're going to get a little bit of noise. What you should not do is, and I've heard this before, and I will agree with this just because it sounds feasible, is if you have magnetic screwdrivers, a lot of people will test the pickups on the magnets with the magnetic screwdriver. I wouldn't do that, so what I'll do is I'll use something that is non-magnetic like this to test the pickups. So we got that guy, that's off, that's off. Here, here, and here, good. All right, here, no good. I mean, that's perfect. It's not, nope. And then here, position 4, perfect, nothing. And then here, yep, nothing. Perfect. So we got that all working. Also, all I'll do is I'll check the volume and then also the tone, which you could hear. Perfect. All right, so we know that that works. All our holes on the pickguard line up. Thank God for that. And we're going to screw this bad boy down. We will get it restrung. We will get it all set up, and then we'll do a little demo and see how it sounds. I know some of you like watching the screws go in the pickguard and all that. Some people don't. Some people like to fast forward through the videos because they're impatient. I don't know. What I try to do is I'll try to get 1 or 2 in one corner here on the pickguard. Make sure all these line up perfect. Then what I'll do is kind of like putting lug nuts on a car. I'll kind of do like a cross pattern here just to make sure everything stays lined up. Also make sure. Also, I will make sure that the pickguard is not going to interfere with the tremolo system, which it's not. And then maybe I'll go here, get this guy down, make sure that's just flat. And I could probably just shut my amp off so I don't have to hear it hum. And then, oh, see, wasn't following my own directions. I'm gonna go here. And so you get the idea. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the frets with a stuff called Gorgamite. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that stuff. Again, not sponsored by them. It'll actually polish the frets. You just cut a small piece off this rag, and you could use it on the frets. The only thing I would suggest, they said you could use it across the whole fretboard. I probably would not do that on rosewood. It looks like somebody else tried to clean this with, somebody in the past cleaned this with, it looks like steel wool, and scratched the hell out of it. Steel wool, man, I don't know why anybody's using it anymore. First of all, the crap gets all over the place, and then it magnetizes to your pickups. So there's so many things out there that you can use, fret erasers, Gorgamite. There's so many things you could use to polish the frets now. You don't need to use steel wool anymore. You know, and those for you steel wool fanatics, nice. But you know what? I got my coffee cup here. You know, and as you can tell, I have a +5 to sarcasm. I don't want the steel wool fibers in my coffee while I drink it. I'm sure it's not good for the digestion. And that's tasty, even though it's cold, but I learned to do that over the years. And anyway, so I'll do that with a little bit of Gorgamite and just clean one of the frets up. Matter of fact, I'll just show you that now. This way you could see how I'm going to use that. So I'll just take out one of these little fret guys, these fret blocker things, put it over the fret. I'm going to take a piece of Gorgamite. Although the frets look pretty polished already. So what I'll do is I'm going to take a piece of this. I'm going to find my scissors. Hopefully they're in here. These are awesome scissors, by the way. They're like electrical scissors, and they have strippers on them too, which is cool. Wire strippers, I should say, not the other type of strippers. And I'll just cut a small piece of this. I'll put the rest back in the bag. I don't know if that keeps it fresh or not, if you're supposed to leave it in this bag, but I do so it doesn't dry out. Not that it's wet. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. I don't know what it's on here. I don't know what it's made out of. It works cool, and I just put it back in the little plastic bag that was inside the other packaging and save it. And then so what I'll do is I'll just take this, and just like steel wool, I'll just do this number. All right, just go like this. I figured I'd leave this in the video here. This is something that people might be interested in. Right? Now look at that in comparison to that guy. I mean, why the hell in 2024 would you be using steel wool? Now, I know steel wool might be a little bit more abrasive, 4/0 steel wool, but you know what, man? Whatever. I don't have to deal with that crap and that mess all over my guitar, like I said, in my coffee, on my hands. And I could just do one of these at a time and just go through. And man, I'll tell you what, it does an excellent job. You know what? Gorgamite should pay me like at least a good 75 cents or give me a free rag of this crap just for saying this, because not many people know what it is. And now, after I do this video, some more people will go buy it, and then the prices will go up, and I'll be pissed. But anyway, not sponsored by anybody in anything. Would be nice. I mean, if it was decent crap that they're selling. I don't want to be sponsored by garbage. But anyway, you could see already the difference in these frets and me just doing a little bit of it. I mean, it makes one hell of a difference, and it's only a small piece, then you can do pretty much the whole fret. And then what I'll do is I will moisturize the fretboard, and I will use a variety of things to do that, and it also takes some of that black residue off. So I have a bunch of different fretboard conditioners. You know, I have the Dunlop lemon oil kind of thing, which is not really lemon oil. I think it's mineral oil with lemon scent in it. I have that. Old English is really good. You could buy a crap load of this for like probably 1/8 of the price of this thing. I don't know if it's 1/8, but anyway, you get quite a bit more. To me, it's the same stuff. Also, what I like to use is this stuff here is great. This is a Dr. Duck's Axe Wax. This stuff works great. A little bit goes a long way. And when I mean, I'm telling you, like, let me just grab another rag here. I'll show you. This is more like a paper towel. It's not a microfiber cloth. I would probably suggest, I always use a microfiber cloth, but being that they're all the way across the bench over there, I'm just going to do this for sake of time. I'm going to put a little bit of this on here, and you got to be careful with this bottle. This stuff gets everywhere. All right, watch this. So just those 3 sections I just did, I'll put that on there, and I'll just wait for it to dry a little bit, and then I'll come back and just buff it. And the stuff is fantastic. It lasts longer and conditions the board a lot better, in my opinion, than using like the lemon oil stuff. I think that lasts a little bit. And sometimes what I'll do is, if the board is really dry, I'll do the whole board with this stuff, and then let it soak in, come back, do it again, wipe it off, and then I'll put this Axe Wax stuff on it afterwards as like a finishing topper. And I'll tell you what, man, it makes the fretboard like brand new, and all I'll do is just buff it. So even buffing it, you could see already the difference in those fret wires. And again, here's why I go back over it after the Gorgamite, is it takes all that oxidation residue off the frets. Because if you don't do that, you're going to get that stuff all over your hands when you're playing, unless you're into that. So there you go. So that I'm going to do that on the rest of the fretboard. I'm going to get it strung up, going to get it set up, and then go for there. We're going to string it up with 9s. That's what my buddy Jerry prefers. I think he actually gave me a pack to put on here. So we're going to put a pack of 9s on this bad boy, and then we'll do a demo of it, and we'll see where we go from there. So I think I've covered pretty much everything as far as what's happening here. I don't know how you guys put your knobs on your Strat, but I like to put them where it says I can read volume tone from my position if I lift the guitar up because of the numbers. I like to know that if it's all the way up, I could see the 10, I know it's on 10. Some people put it the reverse, so when it's like this, it's on 10 for them. I don't know. My head's not wrapped that way, so that's how I put them on. Hopefully he likes it that way. Anyway, I think that's about it for now, and we'll see how this sounds when I get it all done. All right. So the install went pretty good. I think the Fat 60 custom shop pickups sound better in my opinion, and not because they're custom shop. I just think they sound clearer, they sound more articulate, they have a little bit more, I guess, clearer clarity. They have more clarity. They have a good diverse sound as it goes through the 5-way selection, which is quite nice. So you pretty much can get kind of any sound you want out of this other than maybe playing metal. But then again, if you had a good noise gate, I guess you could pull it off with a 60 cycle hum. But that's not what my buddy plays. He plays more like 50s era style rock and roll and surf and stuff like that. So this is perfect for him. He doesn't use the humbucker, so getting that out of there was probably the best. I think this aesthetically looks better in my opinion. The guitar is beautiful. I put some fingerprints on it. He's going to go nuts. but I'll clean it up. But anyway, it's got a really nice finish, and I think the pickguard really sets it off. It just has a classic look to it now. It doesn't have that, I don't like the perlite thing. I've said it like 90 times already. Just depends on the guitar, I guess. But yeah, this came out really good. The frets came out really nice and polished, and the fretboard turned out pretty good after I moisturized it. And for a guitar that's, quite a few years old, from 2006, it's really quite nice, man. So totally stoked with this. I think this came out really, really good. It sounds really, really good. Neck profile is a little bit different when I normally play. It's a little bit thinner. I didn't measure it, but it feels like almost like a telly width. If you've ever played a Ernie Ball Music Man Lukather, it's that nut width. It's a little bit thin this way, but comfortable. It's nice and smooth. There's no sharp edges on this thing. I did a setup on it. Set up the action to actually 360 forts across the board, and adjusted the saddles and the spring tension on the back. I got it to like 1/8 of cant forward. Even though he doesn't use the tremolo arm, it gives that Strat that springy kind of sound instead of it decked down to the body. So, hopefully he'll like it this way. I think he will. Anyway, I think this sounds really, really good, and I'm quite pleased with the way this thing turned out. I was playing through my SWART amp, and I had it set to clean for most of it, from the comparison video in the beginning with the old pickups and in the beginning of starting to play this guitar with the new pickups in. It was completely clean, and the only reverb you heard was the reverb on the amp itself. And then towards the end, a little bit of overdrive with a tube screamer type of pedal, and a little bit of delay. But other than that, it wasn't a direct comparison. I didn't play the same lick and then splice it all together. I mean, there's so many of those videos out there. And again, they're all subjective anyway. There's probably gonna be some people in this video that said they prefer the stock pickups better. Even if they are the stock pickups, I don't even know. We would have to go back in a catalog to find out if that was like a legit, it's a legit Fender pickguard set, but you don't know if somebody changed it. I doubt it. It just seems like everything was nothing had been altered, but I'd go over it with a fine-tooth comb. Anyway, the guitar's in mint condition. I would say the body is anyways. There's some tool marks on the fingerboard, but that looks like from somebody scratching the hell out of it, possibly with steel wool at one point. But other than that, really, really good. Pretty impressed with it. Sounds great. I think he's going to be really, really happy with it. I hope you got something out of this at least, or got to see that you can buy a nice set of pickups, depending on what brand you like. Throw them in a Mexican Strat, especially if you get one, used, and then, do some massive improvement, at least to the tone of it, and then you could always change tuning keys out. There's a bunch of other stuff that you can do to make it, the way you want. But again, like I said, with the heavy poly, these bodies don't have the resonance, I don't think, as like a nitro finished body, but to each his own in that respects as well. And anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this week. Thanks for watching Vinny the Axe. Appreciate you coming to the channel. Please like and subscribe. You'll stay up to date on anything else that comes out in the future. Have a good weekend. Take it easy.